It's Friday. That means it's time for another episode of Ask the Expert with Rob Sutherland. Rob, what do you prefer, a spreadsheet or a CRM? And what is a CRM?
I mean, what's the difference between the two, really? I mean, you've got a list and another list, and so one's a list and the other one's a list, so they're the same thing? No, anyways, obviously they're a little different, but one of the things that I think people don't realize is that you can use both in conjunction quite successfully, and it's sometimes best to have like a backup by using a regular spreadsheet and then also using a CRM. Now, a CRM, Client Resource Management tool, is a great place to keep your leads, especially if you're building a business or a brokerage where you're tracking the people day to day. We like to use one to keep track of things, but we also like to use spreadsheets at the same time.
Okay, now what are the advantages of just a simple spreadsheet?
I like the transparency of a spreadsheet. A lot of people who aren't very techie, they open a CRM and all of a sudden their mind goes sideways because there's a graph here and there's a pinwheel here and then there's an explosion of things, this and all this confusing things on the user interface that can sometimes drive people crazy. Whereas if you're used to looking at a spreadsheet, which has been around since 1990, whatever, it's easier to look at. And even before that, people use spreadsheets that were just on paper, right? So it's nice to just have things in nice, simple line items. You can divide things up on different pages on a spreadsheet that are great. A lot of CRMs used to do that, but now they're like focused on getting you pushed forward into different sales modes. And then you add this add-on here, and you can't do that without this, and everything's another pay per click thing when you're using the CRM. Whereas if you're just using Excel or something very basic, you don't have to worry about all those extra subscriptions and all the extra add-ons, which is nice.
Okay, artificial intelligence, AI. We've been hearing about this a lot lately. So have you used any AI tools to generate leads?
Absolutely we have, yeah, and quite successfully. I think it's really neat. Like when I started my company, so long ago, we used to manually have to scrape the internet to look for people. You can find someone's office, find their phone number, find their email. 10 minutes later, you figured out who they are and where they were at. Whereas now you've got these scraping tools that are all over the internet where you can identify your type of client that you want to get or your type of realtor you want to get, set the AI bot loose on their website, and it'll scrape all the data for you quite cheaply and effectively. And that's a nice way to get new leads off the internet that don't cost you anything, that are perfectly legal and perfectly above board. But the thing is, if you're not using those type of tools, you could be missing out on something. And we've recently tried something with Instantly where they've got a data thing that pulls stuff from LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn has this sales navigator thing where if you had an office or a mortgage brokerage or something like that, you could identify all the people online who work in your area that are all, members of the same community and scrape their data. And it doesn't really cost that much money. It's very cool.
That's amazing. All right, great information, Rob. For more information on ProBroker Agency, just go to the website, ProBrokerAgency.com, and be sure to tune in on Monday for another episode of Ask the Expert with Rob Sutherland.
Let's talk about data. Let's talk about leads. I'd love to hear more about what you're doing to manage your business. Have a fantastic day.